That ended I was waiting for the song to fade out nicely there. That ended very abruptly, didn't it? So, welcome back to the American Dream Team here on Siren 107.3 FM. So the time has come. Oh, I'm on edge.
Look at your little face.
Honestly,
time has come.
Could not be more excited. We're going to speak to Andrew.
Hello, you're
Welcome.
really excited about this, aren't you?
Yeah, talking about wrestling, honestly. These they don't understand.
It's just not real to them.
No, I play songs every week that somehow, I've played CM Punk's music before, and they just don't get it. So
Yeah, I don't understand how people just can't get it.
Obviously, you're an American Studies and History student. We'll start with that. First of all, are you enjoying Lincoln?
Yeah, it's great. I don't live too far away from here. I live in Spalding, so it's not too far away.
My condolences.
Yeah, I know. The course is going really well. Just knuckling down, doing a bit of work.
Which aspect do you like better, history or American studies? You better answer correctly.
Yeah, I realise where I am, so I'm going to say American stuff.
Yay!
Good choice. But the reason you come in is to talk to us about the podcast that you host, and it's every 2 weeks. Is that right?
Yeah, we do the Suplah every 2 weeks. We're on vocnation.com, YouTube at Suplah, and we're also on Fox Sports, and we are also on wrestlingtruth.com. So we're on many websites, and we do the shows every 2 weeks, like I say.
Brilliant. And how did you get involved with doing that then? Where did it come about?
Boredom, literally. Just we Liam, Dunn, and myself. We had like a break between lunch. And we were at college at the time, and we got so bored that we just pulled out a camera and just started talking about wrestling. And we thought it'd be a good idea, and people seemed to like us, so we just kept going, and eventually it just evolved into a audio podcast. I know Keelan Bolton personally, the guy who runs WrestlingTruth.com. So it's not always what you know, I guess, it's who you know. And we basically got onto that website, and just the ball kept rolling from there.
The rest is history.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Oh, this is fantastic. This is brilliant. We will start talking about wrestling in a minute. But so you've got quite a few followers in that then? A few people subscribe to the show?
We've got about 400 subscribers. Our videos kind of range from like 10,000 views to thousands. It depends what it is. If it's something like WrestleMania or something like that, we'll get loads of views. And on the websites like VOC Nation, they get tens of thousands. I mean, they've had John Cena on the show a few weeks back. And just a fun fact, I was on the show a couple of months ago, and just before me was Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Really?
So I was just completely like starstruck.
Blank faces in the studio.
Smile and nod. Smile and nod.
That would be a bit of advice for the American Dream Team then. Attach ourselves to some popular websites.
I know.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you can attach yourself to CNN somehow.
yeah.
Somehow, I don't know how I
Somehow.
ended up doing
So is that something you'd look to do in the future then? Maybe expand it into a professional organisation? Not that it isn't already, I'm sure, but you know, sort of something you do for a living, maybe.
that. Yeah, maybe. The sky's the limit, really. We didn't ever expect it to get to the point where it is now. It was just like literally we did this because we were bored, and it's kind of grown into this podcast just out of nothing, really.
And of course, I mean, again, people in the studio might not really, but I mean, wrestling in America is massive. I mean, they sell out venues week in, week out.
Yeah.
10,000 plus easily every week, twice a week, mostly.
Yeah, it's incredible over there. They really do take it seriously as well. Probably not as much as we do over here, but it's basically an institution over there. It's amazing.
And the top stars all appear on Jay Leno and Piers Morgan and the other sort of talk shows. And
like Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon. And
Jimmy Fallon, yeah.
So Ben, you could start looking this up more for the sports section. You know, sports and sports entertainment.
Okay, I'll get a wrestling story in at least next week if you want.
Make Jack happy.
Please do. And it's big in. I mean, it's not as big over here, obviously, but it is big in Britain. And when they come over here to tour, they do sell out arenas as well.
TNA just did a UK tour, and they sold out Wembley Arena, and they actually did a TV taping at Wembley Arena, which is incredible.
I went to see Monday Night Raw when it was in Sheffield, when they actually filmed the live show from Sheffield, and Ricky Hatton was the guest host. That was a fantastic night. It really was. It's great. So we'll talk more about wrestling if I'm sure the people in the studio don't mind.
Yeah, they'll love it. Really.
I'm very intrigued because I know nothing about it other than flicking past the multiple channels on Sky, just
That's
like
it.
the wrestling channels.
So, have you heard of anyone, Emily? Could you name any names?
Hogan?
Hulk Hogan. Yes. Who's still
I used to watch
going?
his program.
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah.
mean I'm a big fan of wrestling?
Yeah, huge fan. Yeah.
No, it means you're a big fan of reality TV shows, and by reality, I'm doing the inverted commas.
Air quotes don't really work on the radio.
No, they don't.
Have you ever heard of John Cena or The Rock?
I've heard of The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, they're fighting at WrestleMania this year.
Oh, well,
And
yeah.
that's going to be, that's just going to be massive in America,
Yes.
isn't it? They're already building up to it. So
Can I ask a controversial question
If
from
you like.
someone outside of having no idea? Is it all fake?
I'll let
Oh,
Andrew
no,
answer.
I don't want to give away the insides of the business.
So that's a yes.
Yeah, I mean, it is all scripted, but
So from even before they start wrestling, they already kind of know.
yeah, they know
Who's-
it's like it's all predetermined. They all know what's going to happen, but sometimes things do go wrong. It's not like watching EastEnders or something. This is
Yeah.
obviously physical, so they do get hurt. Like they do get like concussions.
Yeah,
and
those
stuff.
things
Yeah,
don't look like they're particularly
Yeah.
safe.
I think that's the thing. Like, it's like people say, it's not real. Like, they're not imagining it. It's not animated.
Yeah.
Although it is scripted and choreographed, and they learn how to land safely, etc. It's very real. I know. I follow all the stars on Twitter, and people ask Shawn Michaels, and they'll ask him about his injuries, and apparently he wrestled for 3 straight weeks with a torn tricep,
Ooh.
just every week, and he landed on he did a move called a moonsault, which is a back somersault, off the top of the ring onto a table. I mean, we're talking about a 15-foot drop,
Yeah,
probably.
That's cool.
And he broke 2 ribs, and he wrestled for the next half an hour with 2 broken ribs.
Do that all the time.
So
Really, Lily?
Nothing.
What are you talking about?
I mean, if you take a guy like Mick Foley, for instance, like Foley's had like multiple concussions. He's had like broken bones. I think in that one Hell in a Cell match that will live in infamy, I think he had like his tooth fell out or something, and it kind of went up his nose or something like that. So you try and tell me how that's fake.
Well, I think when it comes to it's still seen as sort of a sport, and and there's a lot of other sports, especially with things like boxing and stuff. Where you just don't, and the part of the whole. That's lovely. Just a lovely picture up there. Because the whole, and then obviously there's bets, and the whole. I find the exciting thing about sports is the not knowing who's going to win, and sort of having, well, not betting, but having someone to support. But if it's already predetermined, doesn't that take away the anticipation?
It depends how these events are played out and how they're booked and how the storylines are going. It can be extremely predictable, but take. I don't know if anyone listening is going to know this, but CM Punk left the WWE with the WWE title. I'm saying in inverted commas.
Why is he
And-
leaving?
Yeah, and everybody's like, "Oh no, he just left with the belt," and people didn't know because it was based on reality to the point where he was going to leave, and then obviously he signed a new contract, but they made people believe that he was actually going to leave, and it caused a huge stir. And a lot of people were asking me, "Is this real? I don't know." And I'm like, "I don't know myself." So
I don't know either.
I think that is when it's at its best, though, when
Yeah.
they can sort of blur the lines between reality
Yeah,
and
yeah, I
scripted.
guess exactly.
And that does happen. I mean, it's a proper. They are
I was saying,
human
I mean,
beings, so
It's obviously insanely popular, so it appeals to something in people who go and see it. So that's great.
have you ever been over to America to watch any?
Sadly, no.
No.
But I have seen events live where they've come over here. There was I was a huge Ring of Honor fan, and when they came over here, I just straight away booked tickets and stuff like that. But I have been to a TNA event. I don't want to give my views on TNA on the air, but I try to go to these events, but financial reasons and stuff like that, it's quite difficult.
I had tickets on hold for this year's WrestleMania, but I just couldn't afford to get there. That was the only thing. But I was that close to buying. It was so close. I will go one day. It's like my dream.
Happens every year, doesn't it?
Yeah, every year.
it'd be fun.
WrestleMania and Graceland are the 2 things I've got to do in America
Got
at
to
some
do.
point in my life.
And you will, Jack. I know you will.
I'll make it happen. Don't worry.
I've said so you will.
Coming up soon in our famous birthday this week, Ric Flair is 62 and he's still wrestling. So yeah,
It's crazy.
again, no one will have got
Yeah,
that.
no.
So yeah, we're still talking about wrestling, the massive popularity of it. I mean, I know we spoke earlier about The Simpsons being 500 episodes old, and it's I can't remember what the fact was, but I think it's the longest running primetime scripted show, The Simpsons. But both SmackDown and Raw have blown that out the water on the
Yeah.
ratings.
They've been going on since 1995.
Something like that. I know.
Something like that, and
I think sometime in July, Raw is in its 1,000th week or 1,000th episode, isn't it?
crazy. I mean, to think that they've had that many storylines, that many people for that long it's mind blowing. Not even the Simpsons could beat that, to be honest.
And they also, I mean, they tap into a lot of sort of popularity. Very American. We talk about American studies, and they're very involved with the military and tap into political things as well. I know they do the Support Your Troops campaign, or Tribute to the Troops. That's the word I'm looking for, and a lot of charity work as well. So
It's great. Good for them.
yes, thank you, Oli.
You
for
looked
that.
at me like, yeah, in charity. I was like, cool.
Just,
It's great.
I thought I might have been losing the studio,
Awesome.
so I was just trying to engage. I'm sure there are people out there. My brother will be absolutely loving this. He'll be listening, and he will be. Yeah. So we're talking about your podcast as well. The name, the Suplah.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell us how that came about?
It was just completely random. We came up with loads of different names, and to be fair, they're awful. So we watched an episode of SmackDown. At the time, Taz was on commentary with Michael Cole, and I think it was something like Chavo Guerrero suplex CM Punk, and he just went, "That's a fantastic suplex," and we just kind of thought, "Yeah, that will do." Yeah, that'll be
Some inspiration from somewhere there.
Almost as good as the American Dream Team.
Almost.
Almost. That sort of takes the biscuit, though.
Nearly.
American Dream Team. The name came up in this very studio where we are now. It's a random thought. I don't know what else we can say really about wrestling without boring the rest of the people in the studio. But do you feel you've
wish
learned
I
something?
knew more. I
Do you
wish I
feel you've
could-
learned something, Emily?
Definitely. I literally knew nothing. Not a thing apart from Hulk Hogan's reality show to do with wrestling and the occasional sort of flipping onto it, and it's all very dramatic. That was another thing. Very, they all come out in their like capes and things, and the music's playing, and it's
Very
all
American.
Well, as you just heard, that song is very very American.
Well, I mean, you talk about whether it's how it's scripted and the interest in it, but I mean, could you compare something like WWE wrestling to say Glee? I'm going to put it out there.
No.
One of them is a lot more scripted.
Very and I think Glee has less continuity.
I don't know. Just it follows on the
Well, I know you
continuation
mean
of
like a
storyline, the building up of characters.
Is that what wrestling kind of does?
Yeah.
But what if you're trying to get what if you're a man trying to get into wrestling?
Right.
I probably wouldn't advise you. I wouldn't
not
say.
me, obviously. But how would you go about it? Do you have to find someone that goes, yeah, you know what, we'll let you win a couple, and then we'll see where you go from there?
It's all. It's kind of weird. It's like a dictatorial kind of thing. It's really weird. It depends if you have the right look and that kind of thing. You have to have a certain amount of skills. You've got to be good at talking.
In this way, it's like Glee.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
I wish I never said that. But yeah, it depends. Whoever's in charge thinks you're any good.
As with most things, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's interesting.
The Rock played college football. I know
Yes.
that.
Quite a few
Yeah.
stars either come from or go
Yeah.
back to
I
professional sports.
think he went. He moved to. This is literally the only fact I know about WWE is that he moved because there was more money in it than rookie level NFL at the time. Anyway, I don't know if
A
that's
lot
true
more
now.
money,
I don't know if that's
Well,
true
it
now
certainly is for
because
The Rock
there's-
now because he's
Yeah.
obviously
yeah.
the star he's become. Again, that's another thing. The movie stars that is, The Rock, John Cena, are all big movie stars now.
Yes,
and
I know,
involved.
because wasn't The Rock in Scorpion King?
He was.
Yeah, I know that.
And the new Scorpion King 3, stars
Scorpion King
another
3.
wrestler, Dave Bautista. So
Was The Rock not the Scorpion King?
Yeah,
I think he was. Yes. So
yeah.
I don't know what the new film's about, but there is
I'm so
another wrestler.
because they're all
Confused.
built.
And of course, a lot of them have gone on to cage fighting, UFC. Brock
Oh, yeah,
Lesnar.
cage fighting.
Brock Lesnar being the most famous one.
Very interesting.
Well, I do hope the people in the studio have learned something from our wrestling discussion.
I'm still really confused.
And I hope the people at home have as well. It's been very interesting I find it very interesting to talk to you,
Very
Andrew, so
interesting.
thank you very much for coming in. Maybe we can look forward to seeing you again in the future.
Sure, why not?
Yep, and I'll pop up all the links if anyone else is listening is interested in the Suplah. They'll all be up on the YouTube page.
Oh.